because it's a lesson that there's something in that that is very valuable for you to learn, for you to know, for you to understand, something that you will get out of it. It's maybe different for every person. What is it that you're supposed to get out of it? But when you start feeling differently in your heart, you feel from your heart and then your mouth will speak it out. When you start feeling that in your heart, if you can keep yourself true to who you are, if you're a person that loves the Lord, that loves His Word, that spends time with Him, if you can still see yourself doing that and doing that now, no matter what kind of distractions come in your life, if you're wealthy, if you're not wealthy, if this comes or this comes, a relationship comes, do you still rely on the Lord as much, or do you kind of put everything from the Lord onto that person? Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to have a little chat, kind of a freestyle talk about, a perspective on life, and especially how to get through bitterness and how to kind of look at things in a different way to let go of any negative feelings, bitterness, resentment about certain things that may have happened or are happening in your life. I've kind of come up with this scenario that's helping me find acceptance and come to terms with a lot of things in life. And maybe that's your problem as well. I mean, I think everybody has some kind of issues about some certain things. So I believe that this is very likely that before we came down on earth, we were in heaven, and we kind of decided what our life is going to be like. We kind of set out a plan for our life, and maybe with the help of the Lord or the Holy Spirit or God Himself, someone was like our counselor during that time. What is going to happen in our life? Certain events, and we are the ones that decided it, because we came from perfect wisdom, perfect understanding, knowledge, how the world works, how human beings, minds, intellect, relationships, we kind of knew everything back then, and we decided what was going to happen in our life. And when you get into a certain area of your life, or is happening right now, or you're thinking about something that happened that was very hard and that was difficult, that was very challenging to say the least, it was just really hard, and then you often wonder, God, why is this happening to me? Why did that happen to me? And we may have opened up a doorway here on earth, in our earth beings, for this event to come to us, or it may have been decided by us a long time ago before we came down on earth and decided what our life is going to be like, and we decided what are the lessons that we want to learn in life. And depending on the person, because everybody is different, just because you're a heavenly spiritual being doesn't mean you're the same as everybody else. We have our own different levels of understanding, things that we focus on more than other things. You kind of get the point. So from what we want to learn in life, what do we want to have, what is going to come easily, what is going to be a stumbling block for us, is certain things that we put into our life, certain events, so that we will learn something from it. It's really that lesson that we have to learn from something. If there is something in your life that is like a hindrance that you have put up as a wall in your life, or a hindrance or a stumbling block, sorry about the noise, so please bear with me. I'm trying to explain this in the best way that I can. So there are these hindrances that we put up. Maybe money is a hindrance. We might say to ourselves, if I am rich, then I will be happy, then life will happen for me. If I am skinny, life will happen. I will be happy. If I have this kind of relationship, life will be happy. If I accomplish this one thing, I will be a success, therefore life will start happening, I will start living. You get the point. So we put up these blockages in our life. And why do we have these blockages? Maybe before we came on earth, we decided to put this blockage so we can learn a lesson. And that is what it's all about. And the lesson may be for that we may become in a closer relationship with Christ, depending on our own personalities, what we value, what we want or don't want. How badly do we want to be in a relationship with Christ? Are we willing to give up a lot of things on earth to have that close relationship? Did we decide that we should put these things in our life a long time ago so that it will keep us so grounded and so humbled so that we will not stray away from Him? Like, how much do we really love Him to be able to have such a close relationship with Him, to have these kind of issues or difficulties in our life where we have to really lean on Him? We have to develop a relationship with Him. How important is it for us? And I think it depends on the person, of course. I mean, we know that 1/3 of God's children followed Lucifer in the first earth age. So 1/3 of them. So maybe, their faith wasn't as great. Maybe their understanding or their personalities, everybody is different. So I do believe, I don't want to put everyone in a box, but I do believe that one person has more than the other person. I do believe that. And I think that you decided a long time ago, one person has more difficulties than another person. For example, a lot of people, about wealth, because this is kind of a big topic, wealth, riches, being rich and all that. A lot of people, especially now today, they are trying to get rich online. Some people get rich and get money really fast, and it ruins their life. Some people, it ruins their life. They do things that they would not normally do. They make decisions that may be detrimental. They change themselves and they become a worser version of themselves. I'm not saying everybody, but some people. So maybe they did, because they've gotten the money so quickly, the riches and wealth so quickly, they didn't have a chance to really ground themselves in who they want to be, who they are, and stay true to themselves. I've heard a lot of people say that, how do you maintain, they're rich, say they're rich right now, and then it's how do you maintain that wealth and that richness? Because they've already decided that they're going to be true to themselves. They've already, year after year, they've shown themselves and to I'm not going to say universe, to heaven and to God. They've shown themselves that they are stable, that they are true to themselves, and they won't stray away from the kind of person that they are, and they won't allow money to make them into something that they are not, or make them do something that they wouldn't do, or just because they have money, now they're so proud, and now they're just, they don't treat other people right anymore. They do these kinds of things for their own detriment. They're hurting themselves, other people as well, but it's because they haven't really. There's a lot of people that have a lot of money and they are very humble, and then they get more money and they stay true. They often have this phrase, I don't forget where I come from, or I always remember my roots. I always remember where I came from. And that kind of mentality helps them to still remain the same kind of person as they are, and not be changed or molded into something else just because they have money. And that was the lesson that they had to learn. So until we can learn the lesson, there's a great lesson in our difficulties, in our struggles, our challenges. Until we can learn, like really feel the thoughts in our heart, not just know what they are in our mind, but feel them in our heart, then we can't get past that difficulty until we've actually gotten what we were supposed to get from that lesson. And people go through these things 20 years, 40 years, 50 years. It takes them a really long time, but they learn these lessons, and they may have more than one lesson. They might have a physical ailment. They'll be like, why am I like this? Everybody is normal. Why is it like this for me? But don't be so hard on yourself. Just take an introspective look and see yourself long ago, before you even came on this earth, knowing how things work, having wisdom and really knowing how things work, understanding, knowledge, and you look down and you think, this is what I want for my life, because I want to learn this specific lesson, because this lesson might bring me closer to God, might help me become a stronger version of myself. I mean personality, and I don't mean like you get stronger with difficulties. I don't believe you get stronger with difficulties, because a lot of difficulties can break you and make you a weaker person. So just because you have a lot of difficulties in your life doesn't mean you're going to be a stronger person. That's how I feel. But I do believe that there's a certain way to grow from a difficult situation that you're going through that will help you become a mentally, emotionally stronger person. You're able to tolerate things more. You look at people differently. You don't judge people anymore. All these kinds of things they build up our souls. So you have to take an introspective look at yourself. Get out of that situation and think about it. Why did I want this to happen? And then when you realize, especially if you've lived a longer life, if you're very young, if you're like 20, this is kind of harder to grasp because you haven't seen your life develop out yet. But like, say if you're like 30 or 40, the longer you live, the more you see things, why they happened, and you see the positive effect on them. If you don't spend all your time just partying and hanging out, just having fun and partying all the time, you're not really learning anything. When you try to overcome challenges in your life, then you learn what the lesson you were meant to learn from them. This is kind of hard to explain, but I'm trying the best I can. So basically what I'm saying is step back and realize, why did you make that decision long ago to go through this thing now? Maybe you don't see the importance of it now. Maybe the relevance, why that happened or why it's happening, will come out in the future. But it's still important that it happened. No matter how, it's hard to say, no matter how hard it is, there's still a reason. Like, I've had things happen in my life where I didn't know why they're happening, and why do I have to go through this? What is the point? How is this making me stronger? Like I said, I don't believe things can make you stronger. I think they just make you think differently about certain things. They don't actually make you a stronger person. They just change your perspective on certain things. You become a lot more tolerant, compassionate. You become more like Christ. For wealth, if you are a person that sees wealth as a lot of people see wealth as a stumbling block in their life, is a wall that won't let them go through their path. It won't let them walk the path of. When you get to the point, especially with wealth, that you don't really care whether you get something or not, is kind of when you're on the right path. Whether that thing does not become a hindrance or you don't see it as something that you need in your life. You can get by it because you become appreciative of it. You become grateful that it happened. You are thankful that you decided that in heaven a long time ago for yourself here on earth, because there is, whether you have already seen the benefit outcome of it or whether you have not, and you just trust that it is going to happen in the future. So when you become grateful for something instead of being bitter about it or having negative emotions about it, then it's like that hindrance goes out of your life. It's just on the side, but you are walking the path of your life and it's just there. You may be still with it, walking with it, but it's no longer a barrier in your life anymore. And especially with getting rich and stuff, you hear this, people say it like it doesn't matter for them anymore whether they have it or don't have it. When you get to that point where it's not something that you need and you have to have and think that this is what you need for life, and if you don't get it, then everything is on hold, nothing works for you, you're not living because you haven't gotten it yet. When you stop seeing that thing as your end all, then life goes ahead and naturally it comes to you, because it's like God sees that, okay, you've learned your lesson, and the lesson is that it's not as important as you think it is. You've learned whatever you have to learn from it. You've conquered it. Even though it was hard, Christ was on your side. You were having faith. You were trusting in Him. You've gotten through it. You know, no matter how bad something is, always remember that it will end. No matter how hard you are going through, it cannot last forever. Change will happen. It will pass. This too will pass. So just know, you know, that's kind of and try to take yourself away out of that victim scenario. I think I've said everything that I could say trying to explain this thing, but if you do understand, please leave me a comment down below if I'm making any sense here, because I really think that this helps to get past a lot of like negativity and bitterness about events that have happened in your life. And those are the kinds of things you don't want to hold on to. You don't want to be keeping that bitterness, because it's like poisoning your blood. It's hurting your heart. So you want to get rid of all of that if you can. And this is just a way to look at it so that you can become appreciative, be thankful, be grateful, and not have forgiveness for yourself for making you deciding that yes, you would go through that, or have forgiveness for God and stop blaming Him that He's making it happen, or He's not fixing the problem, He's not answering your prayers and all that, because it's a lesson that there's something in that is very valuable for you to learn, for you to know, for you to understand, something that you will get out of it. It's maybe different for every person. What is it that you're supposed to get out of it? But when you start feeling differently in your heart, you feel from your heart and then your mouth will speak it out. When you start feeling that in your heart, that I don't really care anymore, I'm just grateful that I have gone through it, or I'm going through it because I've already seen what benefit what was the purpose of that, or I will see what will be the purpose of that. I know it will come in the future and it will become a very handy thing for me, and it will make me be able to be a overcomer in the future for some situation. But the thing is, if you can keep yourself true to who you are, if you're a person that loves the Lord, that loves His Word, that spends time with Him, if you can still see yourself doing that and doing that now, no matter what kind of distractions come in your life, if you're wealthy, if you're not wealthy, if this comes or this comes, a relationship comes, do you still rely on the Lord as much, or do you kind of put everything from the Lord onto that person, which is very important to keep your relationship still with the Lord, even though you still have your wife or your husband. You have to stay rooted, remember where you came from, remember what you've gone through, and that will not change you, and it will even help you do good in what you will receive. For example, if money, it will help you even do good. It will not make you do anything that you wouldn't normally do if you didn't have it, you know? So that is what I wanted to talk about, and I hope that you understand this. This is kind of my first video, just talking about just things about life and God related, and thoughts on how to get, you know, just this kind of what I'm talking about now. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below, because if I see someone enjoying this, then I will do it again. Or if you have any topic, I would sure like to think about that and see if I can give an accurate answer and help you and help myself in the process as well. So I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a good day. Till next time. Bye.